therapists, but also as musicians, we kind of play with the idea of silence,
Right.
and using silence as a space. How do you kind of conceptualize?
So in the musical concept, the silence is not the space. Silence is part of the integrity. So it is a decision-making process to make something silent, which is not to play, but it's part of the music, right? And this, I mean, my training of being a traditional Asian, artisan music family migrating here, the use of silence is very common in any Asian, ancient traditional practice where, we have Zen and Gagaku and all this stuff that utilizes silence, right? And in America, somebody like John Cage during the 60s, he kind of academized and theorized this idea. But in the Asia, this idea of silence is always there. And the Middle East too, there are a lot of foreign, the international traditional idea that uses the silence, right? But silence is not really a space. Space is more of the accidental encounter. So you create a space, and in spite of the fact that you can create your own space, but once the space is spiritually physical, physically created, it is your experience of encountering the space. You can have the creative spiritual space to encounter, or you have a physical space to encounter. You can build your own space, but you go inside. That's more of the encountering experience, right? So the silence is a integrity. So it is part of the creative advancement to choose silence. Like when you're angry, you decide not to say anything. That is the use of silence and the concept of silence that is based on your decision. So nothing is really coincidental, right? And the spatial experience is a very interesting one. You can create your own, but it could be experiential and also coincidental because you walk into the space. It's both in your mind and the physical space. Yeah. So my interpretation of silence is always integrity. So in Japanese traditional concept, we have this word called ma, M-A, ma. Yeah. So which is misinterpreted by a lot of Western musical educators. Say this is a pause. So you have a quarter notes, and you have a half note rest, but it's not the rest. It is an integrity. Right? So my idea of silence is always very, very conscious decision making. But I do, yes, use the silence. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. I need a pen to write on that.
Timio's recording it.
Thank you very much. That's incredible. But since we have Tatsu-san here and Eitan here, and I'll be here too, are there any kind of just thoughts or kind of questions to any of us?
And I don't think we can. I don't think the cord is long enough to pass the mic. But if you wouldn't mind standing up and speaking and maybe telling us your name and
Oh, you can come closer.
Yeah.
If you have any.